Roseanne is back and better than ever at being racist.
White House Correspondents Association announced on Saturday they're canceling their plan to feature comedian Amber Ruffin at this year's Correspondents' Dinner. The organization said that in this political climate, they don't want to focus on the politics of division.
Would you want to say sorry to her directly? Would you like to talk?
Well, I have already.
If it was me, I would want to say, I want her to hear my voice say, I am so sorry. And I know you've tweeted it, and I know you said it, but now that you have a very different perspective on the comments, I would assume you'd want to start there.
The left wanted to make comedy illegal, you know? Yeah. Like, you can't make fun of anything. So then it was like, comedy sucks. It's like, nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like, legalize comedy. Yeah. Legalize comedy.
And we've shifted the entire culture. And just
If there's one thing I learned from this weekend, it's you have to be fair to both sides.
When people are objectively terrible, we should be able to point it out on television.
I thought that too on Friday. But today is Monday, and Mondays, Amber Ruffin knows that when bad people do bad things, you have to treat them fairly and respectfully. When you watch The Sound of Music, you have to root for the singing children and the other people.
You mean the Nazis?
Calling them that is so one-sided.
Don't you think you're exaggerating?
For now.
I mean, it's just the whole reason we have a free press is so we can report stories, you know, as they actually happen.
No, we have a free press so that we can be nice to Republicans at fancy dinners. That's what it says in the First Amendment. The point is that you're sowing the seeds of discord. And I used to be the same way. I thought, when people take away your rights, erase your history, and deport your friends, you're supposed to call it out. But I was wrong. I had said that it would be impossible to, make jokes about both sides. You know, because we're at a point now where one side is snatching people up off the street and putting them on a plane, and the other side is, not doing that. So I just thought it would be impossible to make jokes about both sides.
Had
and
they
also
seen your
a little
materials?
dangerous.
Were they familiar with your material before they asked?
Saying. I thought if they didn't want me doing that show before I had even opened my mouth, then they would have been really, really sad with what they got.
Are there any jokes that you loved, you just were so looking forward to that you might be willing to share with us right now?
Absolutely not.
Why, are your immigration papers not in order?
Yeah,
Legalize comedy. Yeah.
In the courts of kings, where the comedian jester fool was the one allowed to address the king in front of the people and tell him the truth about himself, many jesters went too far and indeed lost their heads, literally. All comedians know that a good joke doesn't work without a ring of truth to it. The response to a good joke is laughter, and some comedians just do go for the laugh. However, there's another kind of comedy. There's the kind that speaks truth to power and not to pacify the victims of power. That is the difference between a serious comedian and a clown.
It turned my whole world around, and I kinda like it.
They were like, look, you were running your mouth in these streets, and now you can't host the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And I was like, oh no, this is horrible. I was running my mouth and I was being careless. And then as the day went on, people were like, your free speech has been revoked. How dare they go? I was like, oh my God, that's right. I do have
But
free
that's
speech.
But
I am allowed free speech.
It's also the job of the comedian to run our mouths.
Yeah.
That's the job.
Yeah.
Joy does every day.
Exactly.
And to poke fun
we
at the
will continue
establishment
to.
and to make people laugh.
People are saying that Trump did a bad job 100 days in. I strongly disagree. This man has done everything he has set out to do.
Right.
I'm Black. I'm terrified. I'm scared for my trans friends. And people who we know and love, our neighbors, are disappeared. And that was the goal, and he did it. He did it. He did exactly what he wanted to do, because I, feel less welcome in my home than I did, last year. And that's the goal. That was the goal.
Yeah,
this feeling in us is the point.
Don't be afraid. Do not buy into that.
Yeah.
Do not do it, because that is what they want.
That is what they want.
And we got you. You know?
We're in it together.
Yeah. And the best way to piss people off is to say, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have every right to. And as long as we're all saying it, we can all say it together.
Yeah.
It's when we stop saying it together, that's bad, crazy stuff is gonna happen.
I did work. So fuck you.